Good morning, children. Today we will start the chapter Electrochemistry. This is lecture 1. In this lecture, we will learn about the basic concepts of electrochemistry, Ohm's law, that is a recapitulation, specific resistance, conductance, specific conductivity, equivalent conductivity, and molar conductivity. Let us start the chapter with Ohm's law. It is just a recapitulation. For a conductor, potential difference is directly proportional to current. You all know about it. If V is the potential difference and I is the current drawn, then we can write V is proportional to I. Now to remove that proportionality constant, it can be written as V is equals to IR, where R is the resistance. In electrochemistry, liquid behaves as a conductor. The molecules in the liquid is separated into ions, and those ions are responsible for conducting electricity. Specific resistance or resistivity. The resistance of a conductor is directly proportional to its length L and inversely proportional to its cross-sectional area, that is A. You all know about it. So I can write it R is proportional to L and R is inversely proportional to A. Combine these two, you will get R is proportional to L by A. To remove that proportionality sign, there will be a constant. That constant is known as rho. So what we are getting, R is equals to rho L by A. You are familiar with this formula, where rho is the constant of proportionality and it is called specific resistance of the conductor. It may be defined as follows. If L is equals to 1, A is also equals to 1 square centimeter, then R is equals to rho. I can write it. So, specific resistance may be defined as the resistance of a conductor having a length of 1 centimeter and cross-sectional area 1 square centimeter. Specific resistance is also termed as resistivity of the conductor. The unit of specific resistance is ohm centimeter. How it is ohm centimeter? I am talking about the specific resistance or resistivity. So from this formula, I can write rho is equals to R into A by L. The unit of R is equals to ohm and A is centimeter square divided by L is centimeter. Now centimeter gets cancelled. We are getting ohm centimeter. Okay. So the specific resistance having the unit ohm centimeter. Am I clear? Next is coming conductance. Conductance is a measure of the ease of flow of current through a conductor. How easily the current can flow through a conductor. It is defined as the reciprocal of the resistance. Resistance will not allow the current to flow. Conductance means it is a measure of the ease of flow of current through a conductor. That is known as conductance. It is represented by C. So what we are getting? C is E equal to 1 by R, where R is the resistance of the conductor. Just the reverse. Unit of resistance is ohm minus 1, or this is the sign of ohm minus 1, or it is known as mho. It is also expressed as Siemens S. 1 Siemens is equals to 1 ohm inverse can be written as with this formula 1 ohm inverse or 1 mho. Conductivity or specific conductivity, which is also known as specific conductance. You can understand that with the term conductivity or specific conductivity, this is just the reciprocal of specific resistance or resistivity. Okay? This is also called specific conductivity or specific conductance. Okay? It is represented by the symbol K, which is known as kappa. It is written like this actually, kappa. Now, as it is said that it is the reciprocal of specific resistance is denoted by rho. So, I can write kappa is equals to 1 by rho. Now, we know that rho is equals to RA by L. Put the value in this formula. Substitute rho with RA by L. So what we are getting? We are getting kappa is equals to 1 by R into L by A. Okay. 1 by R is known as C. Okay. So I can write kappa is equals to CL by A. Replace 1 by R with C. Okay. So if L is equals to 1 and A is equals to 1, then kappa is equals to C. Okay. So unit of specific conductivity K is ohm minus 1, centimeter minus 1. Specific conductivity may be defined as the conductance. Children, please try to understand. This is specific conductivity for a specified area. Specific conductivity may be defined as the conductance of the conductor whose length is 1 centimeter and area of cross section is 1 square centimeter. What is the resistance that I am getting from a conductor whose length is 1 centimeter and its area of cross section is 1 square centimeter? Look at this figure. The specific conductivity is actually the conductivity of the ions present in 1 centimeter cube of the solution. Okay, specific conductivity is actually the conductivity of the ions present in 1 centimeter cube of the solution. Am I clear, children? So this is known as specific conductivity. If the length is 1 centimeter and area of cross section is 1 square centimeter, that means the volume is coming 1 centimeter cube. So it is written here, specific conductivity is actually the conductivity of the ions, how much ions will be present in 1 centimeter cube of the solution. What is the conductivity we are getting for that amount of the volume? Then that is known as specific conductivity or specific conductance. Am I clear? Now, a new term, equivalent conductivity or equivalent conductance. This is denoted by lambda EQ. Okay. Now, what is that? The conductivity of a solution varies with the concentration of the solutions or the number of ions present in 1 centimeter cube of the solution. The number of ions present in 1 centimeter cube of the solution is known as the concentration of the solution. So if the number of ions present in 1 centimeter cube of the solution is different, so its concentration is also different. Naturally, its conductivity will also change. Okay. So it is said that conductivity of the solution varies with the concentration of the solution or the number of ions present in 1 centimeter cube of the solution. Now, what is equivalent conductivity or equivalent conductance? It is the conducting power of all the ions that is furnished by 1 gram equivalent of an electrolyte that is present in a definite volume of the solution. If in a particular volume of the solution 1 gram equivalent of an electrolyte is present and the ion furnished by that 1 gram equivalent of electrolyte, what is the conducting power of those ions is known as equivalent conductivity or equivalent conductance. I think I am clear to you. Equivalent conductance is given by lambda equivalence, I already told you, is related to the specific conductance, that is kappa, by the equation. This is the equation, that is lambda eq is equals to kappa by C equivalence, where C equivalence is the concentration of the solution in gram equivalent per unit volume. That means if in unit volume, if 1 gram equivalent is present, then the concentration of that solution is known as C equivalence. And equivalent conductivity or equivalent conductance is related to the specific conductance with this formula, lambda equivalence is equal to kappa by C equivalence. Okay. Now, what is C equivalence? I already explained it to you. C equivalence is the concentration of the solution in gram equivalence per unit volume. Now, the question is that from where this formula arises. So, to explain it, I am going to the next slide. Again, after explaining from where the formula we are getting, again I'll come back to this slide. So the formula we have got is lambda EQ is equals to kappa by CEQ. Now the question is that from where this formula is coming. Let us consider VEQ is equals to volume in which 1 gram equivalent dissolved. Okay. Suppose 1 centimeter cube, for 1 centimeter cube, the conductivity is equals to kappa. Now children, what is kappa? Kappa is the specific conductivity. Specific conductivity means it is the conductivity of ions present in 1 centimeter cube of the solution. Okay. You know that specific conductivity kappa is equals to the conductivity of the ions present in 1 centimeter cube of the solution. That means it is specific. Now in place of 1, if I write V centimeter cube, in V centimeter cube, the conductivity will be K or kappa into V. So if I am taking V equivalent centimeter cube, the conductivity will be kappa into V equivalence. And what is my V equivalence? V equivalence is the equivalent conductance. Okay, that means the conductance where 1 gram equivalent is dissolved in a particular volume. So, I can get, this is the conductivity of 1 gram equivalence, because here only I have taken V equivalence is the volume in which 1 gram equivalent dissolved. So, this full term is the conductivity of V equivalent solution. So, can I write it as lambda EQ? This will be represented by as lambda EQ. So, what I am getting? I am getting lambda EQ is equals to kappa into V equivalence. Now, V equivalence is equals to 1 by C equivalence, concentration. Okay. So, in place of V equivalence, I can write lambda equivalence is equal to kappa by C equivalence. Am I clear to you? So, I am getting this formula. Okay. So, I am coming to this formula, that is lambda equivalence is equal to kappa by C equivalence. I hope you have understood. Now, again I am going back to the previous slide. But before that, I want to tell you something here. When this equivalent conductivity or equivalent conductance is coming, in order to compare quantitatively the conductivity of electrolytes, a new quantity has been introduced. Suppose you are having different types of conductance, then if you have to compare the conductivity of those different type of conductance, in order to compare, there is a new term, equivalent conductivity or equivalent conductance is introduced. Okay, am I clear to you? So again, I have come back to the previous slide. I have shown you from where we are getting this formula, that is lambda equivalence is equal to kappa by C equivalence, where C equivalence is the concentration of the solution in gram equivalent per unit volume. Thus, if 1 gram equivalence of an electrolyte is dissolved in V equivalent centimeter cube of the solution, then concentration of that solution C equivalence is equal to 1 by V equivalence, and the formula will be gram equivalent centimeter cube, because this is not only a numeral 1, it is 1 gram equivalent. Okay, so we are getting lambda equivalence is equal to kappa into V equivalence. We have seen this. So, equivalent conductivity or equivalent conductance, this is the definition. Equivalent conductivity or equivalent conductance of a solution at volume V equivalence is the conductance of the solution containing 1 gram equivalent of the electrolyte dissolved in V equivalent centimeter cube of the solution. I think I am clear. So, what is the conductance of the solution which containing 1 gram equivalent of the electrolyte which is dissolved in V equivalent centimeter cube. Okay. Relationship between lambda equivalence and normality N. We have seen in the previous slide that is lambda equivalence is equal to kappa into V equivalence, where V equivalence is the volume in centimeter cube containing 1 gram equivalence of the electrolyte. Okay, V equivalence is the volume in centimeter cube containing 1 gram equivalence of the electrolyte. A relationship between equivalent conductance lambda equivalence and normality N of the solution may be derived from the following manner. How? Let us see. If N is the normality, it means that N gram equivalence dissolve in 1000 ml. So what is the concentration? C equivalence. C equivalence is equal to N divided by 1000. Okay, this is C equivalence, and we know that V equivalence is equal to 1 by C equivalence. So it is 1000 by N. That I am getting here. V equivalence is equal to 1000 by N centimeter cube. Okay, therefore we can write lambda equivalence is equal to kappa into V equivalence. In V equivalence, let us put the value 1000 by N. Okay, so what we are getting, lambda equivalence is equals to kappa into 1000 by N is the normality of the solution. Am I clear? So, derivation of unit of lambda EQ. Lambda EQ is equal to kappa into V equivalence. Now kappa is equal to ohm minus 1, centimeter minus 1, that already we have seen. V equivalence means centimeter cube by equivalence. Okay, from here we are getting centimeter cube by equivalence. So it is ohm minus 1, centimeter square equivalence minus 1. Please remember this, children. Text is coming, molar conductivity or molar conductance, which is denoted by the symbol lambda m. It is just similar to that of equivalent conductance or equivalent conductivity. What is equivalent conductance? Equivalent conductance is the conducting part of all the ions furnished by 1 gram equivalent of an electrolyte present in a definite volume of the solution. Remember that. We have already done it. Just similar to that, molar conductivity or molar conductance is the conducting part of all the ions furnished by 1 gram mole of an electrolyte present in a definite volume of the solution. For equivalent conductance, it is the 1 gram equivalent of an electrolyte present in a definite volume of the solution. For molar conductivity, it is 1 gram mole of an electrolyte present in a definite volume of the solution. Am I clear? So, molar conductivity lambda m is related to the specific conductivity kappa of the electrolyte by the equation lambda m is equals to kappa by Cm, where Cm is the concentration of the solution in moles per unit volume. Just similar to equivalent conductance, lambda Eq is equals to kappa by C equivalence. We have got it. Just similar to that, you can see here lambda m is equals to kappa by Cm. Okay. Now, if 1 mole of an electrolyte is dissolved in Vm centimeter cube, then what can we write? Cm, that is the concentration, is equals to 1 by Vm. So just put this value in this equation. So what we are getting? Lambda m is equals to kappa into Vm. It is just similar to lambda Eq is equals to kappa into V equivalence. Remember that, children. It is just similar to that. Okay. Now, lambda m is the conductance of the solution containing 1 mole of electrolyte dissolved in Vm centimeter cube of the solution. That is known as the molar conductivity or molar conductance. Am I clear, children? So, molar conductivity or molar conductance of the solution at dilution Vm, that means the volume, is the conductance of the solution containing 1 mole of the electrolyte dissolved in Vm centimeter cube of the solution. Am I clear to you? It is just similar to that of the equivalent conductance. Relationship between molar conductivity lambda m and molarity m. An electrolyte solution with molarity m, what does it mean? It contains m moles of the electrolyte in 1000 centimeter cube of the solution. Okay, so it means that Vm is equals to 1000 by m. Since lambda m is equals to kappa into Vm, just replace the value Vm with 1000 by m. Just put the value here. We are getting lambda m is equal to kappa into 1000 by m, where m is the molarity, that is moles per liter of the solution. Lambda m is equals to kappa into 1000 by molar concentration of the solution. Okay, so units of lambda m, how to calculate? Lambda m is equals to, from this formula, kappa into Vm. So from there, kappa is equals to ohm minus 1, centimeter minus 1, and Vm is equals to centimeter cube by mole. Okay, because it is the 1000 by molar concentration. So centimeter cube by mole. Okay, so we are getting ohm minus 1, centimeter square, mole minus 1. This is the unit for lambda m. Relationship between lambda m and lambda equivalence, molar conductance and equivalent conductance. What is the relationship between these two? Lambda m is equals to kappa into 1000 by m. We have got it. And lambda equivalence is equal to kappa into 1000 by n. That also we have got. Now by dividing lambda m and lambda eq, this is we are getting kappa 1000 by m divided by kappa 1000 by n. Now kappa into 1000 from the numerator and the denominator both will get cancelled. So we are getting n by m. Okay, what is n? N is the number of gram equivalent of the electrolyte and m is the number of moles of the electrolyte. Okay, now in place of number of gram equivalents of electrolyte, I can write number of gram equivalent of electrolyte is equals to mass of electrolyte by equivalent mass. Okay, and number of moles of the electrolyte, I can write mass of the electrolyte by molar mass. Okay, now from here again, mass of electrolyte and mass of electrolyte will get cancelled. So what we are getting? We are getting molar mass by equivalent mass. So lambda m by lambda eq is equals to molar mass by equivalent mass we are getting. From there, lambda m is equals to molar mass by equivalent mass into lambda eq. That means we are getting molar conductivity is equals to molar mass by equivalent mass into equivalent conductivity. You have to remember this formula, children. Next is coming Faraday's laws of electrolysis. The first law for electrolysis, what Faraday has given, the first law he is saying the amount of substance liberated or deposited at a particular electrode during electrolysis is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity or the total charge passed in the solution. I am again repeating it. The amount of substance liberated or deposited at a particular electrode during the electrolysis. Suppose we are doing the electrolysis, you know that a substance will be liberated or deposited at a particular electrode. That should be proportional to the quantity of the electricity passed in the solution. Am I clear? So if Q is the amount of the electricity passed and if W gram is liberated, then according to this law, W is proportional to Q. Okay? And you know that Q is equals to I into T, current into time. Okay? Just put it in the formula. We are getting W is proportional to Q. It will become W is proportional to I into T. Okay. Now just removing the proportionality sign with a equal sign. One proportionality constant should be there. So that proportionality constant is Z, where Z is the proportionality constant and it is also known as electrochemical equivalent. Okay, if I is equals to 1 ampere, time is equals to 1 second, then what we can get? We can get W is equals to Z. So from here we can say the definition, electrochemical equivalent may be defined as the amount of substance liberated if a current of 1 ampere passed for 1 second. This is the first law. From the first law of Faraday, we are getting W is equal to ZIT, where W is the amount of the substance deposited or liberated, Z is the electrochemical equivalent, I is the current passed, and T is the time taken. Am I clear? Faraday's second law of electrolysis. When the same quantity of electricity is passed through the solutions of different electrolytes connected in series. You can see here 3 different electrolytes taken in 3 different beakers. The first one is copper sulfate, the second one is nickel sulfate, and the third one is zinc sulfate. They are connected with each other through a series connection. Then the masses of the substances liberated or deposited at the electrodes are directly proportional to their equivalent masses. Same current I is passed for the same time T. Okay, so let us see then what is the relationship and how we are getting the relationship for the second law. So from the second law, what we are getting, mass of copper by mass of nickel is equal to equivalent weight of copper by equivalent weight of nickel. Okay, see here, if suppose W1 is the amount of the substance liberated at the copper for the copper electrolyte, then W1 is proportional to ECU, that means equivalent weight of Cu. W2 is proportional to the equivalent weight of Ni, and W3 is proportional to the equivalent weight of zinc. Then in that case, W1 by W2 is equals to ECU by ENI. Let us write it as E1 by E2. And W2 by W3 is equals to ENI by EZN. Let us write it as E2 and E3. If Z is the electrochemical equivalent, then we can write W1 is equals to Z1 IT, W2 is equal to Z2 IT, and W3 is equal to Z3 I3. That you can write from the first law. Okay, so just put it here, W1 by W2 is equals to E1 by E2, and as E1 is equals to Z1 IT, because same current and you are passing for the same time, E2 is equals to Z2 IT, Just put the value of E1 and E2 here. IT will get cancelled. I'm getting Z1 by Z2. Okay. So what I can write, E is proportional to Z. To remove the proportionality sign and to make it as equal sign, we have to bring one constant. That constant is F. So we are getting E is equals to F into Z. Now this F is known as Faraday's constant, which is very important. Faraday's constant, that is the charge carried by 1 mole of electrolyte. F is equals to Na into E, that is the charge, Na into E. Now Na is the Avogadro number. So charge of Avogadro number, that is 6.02 into 10 to the power 23. Number of electrons. Okay. 1 Faraday is equals to 96500 coulombs. This is very important to know, since Z is equals to E by F. Z is equals to E by F. From here we are getting E is equals to F into Z. From there Z is equals to E by F. Okay. So electrochemical equivalent, that is Z is equals to equivalent mass E divided by Faraday's constant. Or we can write equivalent mass by 96500 gram coulomb minus 1. Am I clear, children? Relationship between Faraday, Avogadro number and charge of an electron. From the first law, we are getting this formula, W is equal to ZIT. From there, Z is equal to W by IT. Okay. From the second law, we are getting the relationship E is equals to F into Z. Okay. Now from the first law, if you will find out the value of Z, Z is equals to W by IT. Now from the first law, Z is equals to W by IT. Just put it in the second law in place of the Z. So we are getting E is equals to F into W by IT. Okay. Now I can write it in this way. E is equals to F into W by IT. So from there, W is equals to, we can get W is equals to E into IT by F. Okay. Now IT, I into T is nothing but 1 Faraday. Okay. So just put it here. Just put it here. W is equals to E into Faraday by Faraday. This 2 will get cancelled. So we are getting W is equals to E. So what we can say, thus on passing a charge equal to 1 Faraday or 96500 coulombs in the solution of an electrolyte, the amount of the substance liberated is equal to its equivalent mass from this relationship. Okay. Passing a charge equal to 1 Faraday in the solution of an electrolyte, the amount of the substance liberated is equals to the equivalent mass. Hence, it may be concluded that the quantity of electricity required to liberate one equivalent of any substance is 1 Faraday. Again, I am repeating. Hence, it may be concluded that the quantity of electricity required to liberate one equivalence of any substance is 1 Faraday, as equivalent mass is equals to weight, the amount of the substance liberated. So, the amount of the substance when it is equals to is equivalent, one equivalence, then 1 Faraday electricity is required. Okay. It may be concluded in that way that the quantity of electricity required to liberate one equivalence of any substance is 1 Faraday. Okay, children. Now let us solve some numericals. A current of 0.2 ampere is passed through a solution of copper sulfate for 1 hour. Calculate the mass of copper deposited at the cathode. You can understand this sum is a sum of Faraday's law. Now in that they are asking you to find out the mass of the copper deposited at the cathode. That means W they are asking. And you know that the formula is W is equal to ZIT. I is given, that is 0.2 ampere. T is given 1 hour, but you don't know the value of Z. To find out the value of Z, the formula of Z is equals to equivalent mass by 96500. Okay, so for that, you have to first find out the equivalent mass of copper because it's a copper sulfate solution. How to find out the equivalent mass of copper? Equivalent mass of copper is equals to atomic mass by valency. You can find out in that way. So first of all, you have to know the atomic mass of copper, that is 63.5. Okay, 63.5. Valency of copper in copper sulfate is 2. Am I clear? So equivalent mass of copper is equals to atomic mass by valency. So we are getting 31.75. Clear? Now from there, when I am getting equivalent mass of copper, I can very easily find out the value of Z, that is electrochemical equivalent. Z is equal to equivalent mass by 96500. So from there we are getting 3.29 into 10 to the power minus 4 gram coulomb minus 1. Okay. Now it is given I is equals to 0.2 ampere and time is equals to 1 hour. So you have to change it to second, 60 into 60 second. Am I clear? Now, according to Faraday's first law, W is equals to ZIT. Now you know everything. Z is 3.29 into 10 to the power minus 4. I is equals to 0.2 and time is equals to 60 into 60. So we are getting 0.2369 gram. Hence, the mass of copper deposited at cathode is 0.2369 gram. Am I clear, children? Next numerical. In an electrolysis experiment, electric current was passed for 5 hours through 2 cells connected in series. The first cell contains a gold salt and the second contains CuSO4 solution. 9.83 gram of gold were deposited in the first cell. If the oxidation number of gold is +3, find the amount of copper deposited in the second cell. Also calculate the magnitude of the current in ampere. It is given atomic weight of gold is 197 and atomic weight of copper is 63.5. Now just see the numerical. You can understand that this is also a numerical for the Faraday's law, but it is of the second law because there are two different electrolyte. One is gold, one containing gold salt and the other one containing CuSO4 solution. And it is given also 9.83 gram of gold were deposited in the first cell. Okay, so for that, the second law equation, second law relationship for Faraday is W1 by W2 is equals to E1 by E2. Now here the W1 is equals to AU and W2 is equals to CU. Similarly, E1 is also for AU and E2 is also for CU. Okay. So my formula is W1 by W2 is equals to E1 by E2. So I have to find out E1 and E2, that is the equivalent mass of gold and equivalent mass of copper. So how to find out? Equivalent mass of gold can be find out atomic mass of gold by oxidation number, because the oxidation number of gold is given +3. Okay, so I can find out 197 is the atomic mass of gold given, divided by 3. So I'm getting 65.67. Okay, and equivalent mass of copper, that is atomic mass by oxidation number. So 63.5 is the atomic mass of copper given, and it is of CuSO4, so its oxidation number is 2. So it is 31.75. Now according to Faraday's second law, WAU by WCU is equals to AU by EAU by ECU. Now from there, they have given you WAU, weight of the gold deposited, already given to you. You know equivalent mass of gold and you know equivalent mass of copper. So only you don't know, that is weight of copper. So from there, just substitute the value and find out the weight of the copper, that you are getting 4.753 gram. So we have already got the first part, that is the amount of the copper deposited. Now you have to find out what is the current passing. So for that, you have to go back to the first formula, that is W is equals to ZIT. So W copper is equals to ZIT. I can take, time is given, that is for 5 hours. So it is 5 into 60 into 60 second. But we don't know the Z, value of Z. So the value of Z for copper can be calculated by the formula equivalent mass by 96500 coulomb. Equivalent mass is 31.75 for copper. We have already got it, divided by 96500. So we are getting 3.29 into 10 to the power minus 4 gram coulomb minus 1. So just write it, put everything in this formula. WCU is equals to Z into I into T. Now here in this formula, WCU we know, Z we have got, time we know, only is unknown factor is I. So find out I from there, just substitute all the values and we are getting I is equals to 0.8026 ampere. Am I clear, children? Next question, how long will it take an electric current of 0.15 ampere to deposit all the copper from 500 ml of 0.15 molar CuSO4 solution when copper is 63.5 atomic mass is given, copper is 63.5. How long it will take? That means they are asking for the time. How long it will take an electric current of 0.15 ampere I is given to deposit all copper from 500 ml, that means the volume of the solution given 500 ml of 0.15 m CuSO4. Now from 0.15 m CuSO4 you can find out the number of moles of copper. Okay, how I can get it? 0.15 m molar copper sulfate solution is equals to 0.15 divided by 1000, that is the moles of copper. Okay, now if it is the moles of copper, then you are having 500 ml of 0.15 m molar. So how many moles? 5 into 0.15 divided by 1000. Okay, so we are getting in 500 ml of the solution, the number of moles of copper is 0.075. Okay, mass of copper, that is the number of moles of copper into atomic mass of copper, you all know about it. So 0.075 is the moles of copper, this many number of moles of copper are present, and into atomic mass, that is 63.5, that will give you the mass of the copper. Okay, so equivalent weight of the copper is equals to atomic mass by valency, that is 63.5 by 2, so 31.75 we are getting. Now from there we can calculate the value of Z. Z is equals to equivalent mass by 96500, that is 31.75 by 96500. So from there I can get the value of Z. Okay. Now M is equals to 31.75 divided by 96500, that is Z into I into T. Here M is nothing but W. M is nothing but W. Okay. So W is equals to, the formula is W is equals to Z into I into T. So the value of Z is 31.75 by 96500 into I is given 0.15 into T. T we don't know. Calculate the value of T from here. Mass already we have got, that is 4.7625. We have already done it. We have already got it. So just put the value and find out the value of T. So it is coming 26.80 hours. Because it is coming into second, then just change it, transfer it to the hours. Convert it to hours. So it is coming 26.80 hours. I hope you have understood. Electrochemistry lecture 1 ends here. Please go through the video. It is very conceptual chapter. So please concentrate and see the video. Go through the video, and if required, then take the help of the book also.